The SHM Financial Group has been providing investors in South Jersey with financial strategies and solutions since 1958. We are a family business, an independent financial planning, wealth accumulation, and asset management firm, and we call South Jersey home. More information is available at shmfinancial.com. This is South Jersey Showcases, all that we love about our communities, and we are proud supporters of this show and NJTV.
Funding for This is South Jersey is provided by Atlantic City Electric, investing in system improvements to meet the needs of a changing world. Over the last 5 years, Atlantic City Electric has replaced and upgraded transformers, poles, and wires in an effort to enhance reliability to their customers. Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world. This is South Jersey with Marianne Aleardi is a production of SJ Magazine.
You may think you know New Jersey. You may think you know how we dress and how we talk, how we argue with our husbands and then get drunk on the boardwalk. But that's really not who we are. There's so much more to South Jersey. We have everything all in one place. We have museums, we have beaches, we have farms, we have great neighborhoods. There's so many reasons to live here and visit here, and we're going to show them all to you. Come with me as we explore all that South Jersey has to offer, the people and the places.
We are off the ground right now.
We are off the ground.
Toast to South Jersey.
South Jersey. Cheers.
I'm Marianne Aleardi, and this is South Jersey. South Jersey has beautiful wineries, as you can see, and they each offer something a little different. Tonight, some very lucky friends of mine are here with me for a tavern tasting. We are at Amalthea Cellars in Atco. You can do this. You can gather your friends, come to this beautiful location, enjoy each other, have some good food, and taste some really good wine. South Jersey wineries have come so far. They offer so many things for you to do, like girls' night outs, wine festivals, and all kinds of tastings. Before our tavern tasting, owner Louis Caracciolo is going to take me on a quick tour of this beautiful winery. This is breathtaking. How many acres do you have?
We have 6 here, and we contract with other growers who grow grape for us.
And those are local farmers.
Oh yeah, all in the region.
How many bottles of wine does that produce?
About 60,000, which is not a lot. It sounds like it, but it's premium.
Like it, yes. What different kinds of wine do you make?
Cabernet Sauvignons, the Chardonnays, the Merlots, the Syrahs, all those.
You make them all. How did you learn how to make all those different wines?
My grandfather came over from Italy, and then I actually worked at Chateau Margaux in France, and I picked up the old world style there and brought it to New Jersey.
I think a lot of people would be surprised to hear that, because they don't think of New Jersey wines as having that level of sophistication.
Well, for 350 years, we couldn't grow the old world grapes like Cabernet and like France. So we had a lot of sweet Concord. They were great, and we made a lot of fruit wines. Now we're lifting the style into the new world and the old world style as well.
If people come here and they want to taste your wine, what can they do?
They picnic, they hang out, meet new friends, they bonfire. We have special tastings, pairing wine and food.
It sounds fantastic. Just get a bottle of wine and sit in this beautiful vineyard and enjoy friends. These grapes, where do they go from here?
We pick them, and then they get crushed in the cellar. I could show you our French cellar if you'd like to see it.
Yeah, I would love to see it.
Okay.
While we head to the wine cellar, my friends are heading into the tavern, and Lou and I are meeting up with my husband, Joe. Joe's a big red wine fan, so I thought he'd be good for this tasting. Oh, this is such a cool room. Can you describe for me the process of making wine?
Classic wines like this has been made the same way for 2,000 years. Crush the grape, you cook them, we call it, for about 20 days, and then into a barrel and onto your table in 2 years. Would you like to taste them?
I would love to taste them, yes.
Okay, here, grab a glass. This is still new Merlot. This is called a wine thief, and what we do is I'm thieving wine from the fresh barrel. This will be another year before it comes out of the barrel to be bottled. This is also an ancient process of thieving the barrel. It's been in about a year right now.
When I taste it now, how will it compare to when it's ready?
Right now, it's going to taste fresher, like a homemade wine. And then it continues to cure as it ages in the barrel. Cheers.
Cheers.
Not bad for New Jersey, right?
Not bad at all. Very good.
You know, we have a whole group of friends over there drinking wine, having a good time.
We should go
Let's
catch
go
up.
join them.
We should.
Yes.
We should. We are ready for the best part of the night. These tavern tastings are held 4 times a month on the weekend. You and a small group of friends will taste 4 wines paired with some delicious hors d'oeuvres. It's such a special evening.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Amalthea Cellars at our TNT tasting. My name is Holly. I will be your sommelier tonight. I want to start you off today with one of our estate-grown wines. It's our Chardonnay Reserve from 2010. So let's get started.
One of my friends tonight is Lou Capelli. He's the Camden County Freeholder Director, and in the past few years, he's done a lot of work to change laws to help South Jersey wineries.
There was a Prohibition-era law which prevented our wineries from shipping their wine out of the state of New Jersey.
That's just insane.
It
just
really
doesn't make
is.
sense. It had to hurt the wineries, right?
It definitely hurt the wineries,
Yeah.
and each year since we've had this law passed, the wineries have sold records amount of wine.
Really?
Year after year after year. More farmers are growing grapes, more wine is being sold, gardens being put back into the garden state.
That's a good thing.
It's just a good thing, and you know
wonderful.
what?
Yeah.
Right now we're trying to convince farmers to convert crops to grapes.
Really?
Because the demand for New Jersey wine has increased to such an extent that we now need more people, more farmers to grow grapes. So it's a great success story. This is an industry that will probably double or triple in the future.
Changing that law has really had a significant impact on the economy in South Jersey.
Absolutely, jobs have been created. Our wine is being shipped to China, Alaska, California.
So great.
People all over the world are now realizing that great wine is being made here in New Jersey.
In South Jersey.
Absolutely,
Which
right
is
here in South
unbelievable.
Jersey.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Good. Okay, well, cheers.
Cheers to you.
We're gonna move on to our next wine. You ready for the pour?
Our evening was magical. Good friends, good food, and great wine. If you're looking for something to do this weekend, check out a South Jersey winery. You just might think you're somewhere else, but no, you'll be in South Jersey. Toast to South Jersey. I'm in Camden visiting the Walt Whitman house, where the esteemed poet and author lived during the 19th century. Visitors from around the world come to tour the historic house, and they're greeted by curator Leo Blake, who will be my tour guide today. When did Walt Whitman live here, and how did he get to Camden?
When asked about why Camden, Walt Whitman said, "Camden was originally an accident, but I shall never be sorry I was left over in Camden. It has brought me blessed returns." And like many of the things he said and also wrote, there were many meanings. He had first come to Camden in 1873 to visit his mother, who was ill. And that's when Walt bought this house here on Maple Street.
Okay. He lived here for less than 10 years.
These photographs are copies of ones that are in our collection, and every one of them was donated except for this one, which by chance we had a visitor one day who came in and said that he had this photograph. That was taken in 1890 by an English visitor, John Johnston, who came to visit Walt and later wrote a book and published some photographs of the house.
You had actual photographs of what his house looked like. So we know that this looked like this.
Yes.
Because got it right there. That's fantastic. And is that the same? The
It
sculpture?
is. This is a sculpture of Grover Cleveland, who was president during the period that Walt was living here, given to him by a friend named Sidney Morris, who also crafted the bust of Walt we have over here on the stove.
It's fascinating. Can you show me more?
Yes.
Okay,
Let's
good.
go.
Good. Every room in the house is open to visitors, and there are treasures everywhere.
Here's another interesting artifact that we have here, Marianne. This is the contract that Walt Whitman signed to have a tomb built at Harley Cemetery. If you read down, it has a price of $4,678.
What year was this?
1890.
That seems like a lot of money.
It was an enormous sum of money for that time, and a big surprise to Walt Whitman. Apparently, he didn't realize that he had signed this contract before they typed the price in. He had entrusted the manager at Harley Cemetery to take care of his affairs. Later, he was able to negotiate the price down, and so the tomb was built without getting Walt too upset about it. Let me show you something else.
Okay.
It's a death notice. Apparently, when word got out, there were lots of people knocking on the door, and Walt Whitman's close friend, Horace Traubel, instructed Alex McAllister to write this out and nail it to the door.
I can't believe you have that. That's beautiful. I'm sure there's more. The house is filled with things like this. Our tour continues into the kitchen, where Whitman's housekeeper, Mary Davis, lived. She was the widow of a sea captain, and she stayed with Whitman rent-free in exchange for keeping house. And then we visited the most significant room in the house.
This is the bed that he died in.
Really?
Purchased for him about a month before his death, and it was a waterbed.
What do you mean a waterbed?
Well, it actually had a water mattress.
Walt Whitman slept on a waterbed.
He did, yes.
Is that his cane?
That's his cane.
Where would you get something like that?
Friends of his and family who were given these at the time of his death donated the artifact to the house many years ago.
Over here, it's a very messy area.
It is. Very much a writer's room.
Yes.
That's for sure. In his final days, this is where he contemplated his life work, Leaves of Grass, that went through many editions. In fact, the last edition, which was finished here in 1892.
The house is now managed by the Walt Whitman Association, and they host many special events, including poetry readings in the beautiful backyard. Leo gave me a sample of that.
I celebrate myself and what I assume you shall assume. For every atom belonging to me as good belongs to you. I loaf and invite my soul. I lean and loaf at my ease, observing a spear of summer grass.
It's just beautiful.
Thank you.
You have been a wonderful tour guide, thank you.
Thanks for coming.
I didn't know this all was here, so I'm glad I came.
Come again.
I traveled deep into the Pine Barrens to visit the Tracker School. It's an encampment where survival expert Tom Brown Jr. teaches all ages how to stay alive in the wilderness. Tom can track and find people lost deep in the woods. He's been called by the police, even the FBI, to find fugitives in hiding. He's been operating the Tracker School for over 30 years, and people come from all over to learn what he knows. So when people come here, what do they learn?
They learn how to survive with nothing. It's called a purist attitude, where if you found yourself in the wilderness with just a bathing suit on, you learn from the ground up. Make your own tools, toothbrushes, fire shelter, find water, teddy bear, whatever you need, blanket.
Yeah.
They learn everything from, the basics.
How long do they stay here?
Well, most classes are a week
Okay.
long. They'll set up their tents and stuff, and then we concentrate on the skills. All day we go from lecture to workshop, lecture, workshop, pretty much nonstop.
The people who come here, are they campers? Like they do this all the time? Do you have people like me who would be really a fish out of water?
We've tried for years to figure out who comes through, and I have to say everybody.
Really?
From state senators and governors to homeless wanderers to everybody in between.
In addition to survival skills, campers also learn how to live in harmony with nature. It's something Tom learned as a child.
My best friend when I was growing up, his great-grandfather, we just called him grandfather, was a full-blooded Apache, from a Lipan Apache from the Southwest, who came up to visit when we were just 7, and he stayed until I was 18.
Oh.
So every day after school, every weekend without fail, we were back in camp here because I had this insatiable obsession for learning this. And that's how it all began. And then for 10 years, when everybody else went to college or trade school, I wandered North and South America, tracked for the police, the FBI, and things like that. Kind of built a reputation that way.
One of the survival skills grandfather taught Tom was building a fire without using matches. That is now taught in the basic class. Campers make a bow drill from sticks and branches, and with friction and pressure, they produce smoke and coal.
And then you'll see the coal smoking. Now,
It's really
what has
smoking.
to happen now, we got to get a flame out of that. So just out of forest litter that's dried, the flame, you'll see it start to glow. When you see it glow, just open that bundle so they can see it.
He's gonna get fire in his hands. It's gonna catch
and then
fire.
it goes right into a fire structure. It's like your match right there. Once
Okay.
that's lit, it's like a match or a lighter.
I feel like he's doing a magic trick.
Yeah,
Oh, I
it'll
see
light
it.
very soon.
That's incredible.
There it goes. And then that would be put into a fire structure. So like a teepee fire, which would catch.
That's incredible. Tom took me on a tour of the camp and we came upon a debris hut. Building this is one of the first things taught at the camp. It's a basic structure with lots of debris thrown on top. There's no clay or anything, because that's what it looks. It looks like there should be some form.
Squirrels' nests, if you ever look at them, or any kind of a big mouse nest, same form. It's a long pole that runs to the ground. 2 poles that come up, forked sticks to hold it in place, and then ribs, and then just throw the debris on.
I could do the throwing the debris on part.
Yeah, I mean, actually the whole thing is so simplistic to build. The children's classes, this is one of the first things we teach children to do, because shelter is #1 in a survival situation, followed by water. If I only had one survival thing to teach, it would be this.
All right, let's go see some more, please.
Okay.
On our walk, we came upon another exercise that teaches how to balance without using your eyes. It's a skill used for stalking.
In our modern life, with our controlled walking environments, we've moved our sense of balance to our eyes. And in the woods, that doesn't work. We got to get to the inner ear, so to speak. And a lot of times you're stalking and moving at night, so you don't have that visual horizon, so to speak. And blindfolding is a magnificent tool of teaching body sensitivity, as well as sensitivity to all things in the environment.
Everything here is slow.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And everything in the world
is fast.
Is fast.
And the two don't mesh.
Yeah.
If you keep that speed back here, you see nothing, you experience nothing. But if you can slow down, as soon as you get into any environment that's natural, if you take 10 steps very slow, you'll find your whole mechanism, internal mechanism slowing down, your internal clock slowing down. So if in fact you went back to your normal pace, it would feel alien, like it doesn't belong.
Yeah.
And it's one of the greatest lessons you can learn in resetting that clock to meet the rhythm of the earth. All right, let's head back to camp.
Okay, great. On our way back to camp, Tom had a little surprise planned for me.
Track.
All right, I don't see anything.
Okay, the ground is trying to be flat because of gravity. If it is not flat, it's a track.
Okay.
See how that's a circle?
Yeah.
A feral cat. You see how that in there is pressed down?
Yeah.
That's a deer.
Wow. You know, when you see tracks on TV, it's very clear.
Yeah, there's another one, a feral cat. They go right up here.
This is part of the class you would teach people?
Tracking.
Wow.
You can come out now.
Oh my gosh, are you crazy?
That's called a setup.
That's not funny. Oh my gosh. That's unbelievable. If I had come to your class, would I have known he was there? Would I have been able to sense that he was there? Yeah. Well, thank you for that. That was a good lesson, I suppose. Yeah, thanks. Aside from my scare on the side of the road, I really like the Tracker School. It's a place to learn how to be still, be aware, so that if ever needed, you could survive in the wilderness. And it's right here in South Jersey.
Never in a million years did I think I would fly a plane, ever. But surprise, today I am, and you can too. We are at Flying W in Medford, and they have a program called Free Flight, where for $99, you can fly a plane. Don't worry, there's a pilot with you at all times, and you get some instructions in the cockpit first, but then you get to fly a real plane all by yourself.
I'll be flying with pilot Bob McCabe. He's been flying for almost 30 years, and he'll be my instructor today. To get started, Bob's explaining the plane's mechanics.
An airplane moves in 3 dimensions. So when it goes like this, we call it banking. When it goes up and down, we call it pitching. And when it goes left and right like this, we call it yawing. So we have 3 surfaces we work with. This one here is your rudder, and that's the one that yaws it. the tail left and right.
Got it.
Okay, and you're gonna have rudder pedals to work to do that.
All right.
Okay, this one is called your stabilator or elevator. And when it goes like this, that makes the nose go up. When it goes down like that, that makes the nose go down.
Got it.
So that one, you're gonna pull the yoke in and out. That's what's gonna work this one.
Nice.
And then the last one we have, these are called the ailerons. Aileron is a French word, it means little wing. It dates all the way back to the first earliest times of flight. And this goes up and down like this. And when it goes up, the air flows up like this. It pushes the wing down and the plane rolls to one side.
Oh man.
We check every inch of the outside of the plane, even the engine. Then it's time to head inside.
I feel like I'm in a movie right now.
Bob gets right to work doing a safety check and giving me some instruction.
Let's start with the controls. You've met your rudder pedals, right?
Yes.
You can move them back and forth. If you push to the right, the nose goes to the
Go
right.
to the right.
If you push to the left, nose goes
Go
to the left. So here's your basic controls right here.
Okay.
And if you want to go up, you pull back toward you.
Got it.
And that brings your elevator up. And if you want to go down, you push it forward, the nose will go down.
Those are my nose dives that I'm doing, yeah?
That's it. Nose dives, nose up. Okay. And if you want to roll to the left, you just turn it this way.
Got it.
If you want to roll to the right, we turn it that way.
Got it.
Okay. And then down on your feet are your rudder pedals.
Right.
So you can push them right and left. It works just like a tricycle. Just like the one you had when you were 3 years old.
Bob explains all the instruments on the dashboard. There's a lot to take in. We'll be flying about 120 miles an hour in the air. There's one more pre-flight safety check, and then we're ready to fly.
Clear prop.
Clear prop.
That's it. And now we're ready to start.
The butterflies just happened.
Oh boy. Here come the butterflies.
So we're ready. The doors are shut. Oh my.
Okay, here we go.
Oh.
Boy.
All right.
Engine's running, no going back.
I hope I remember everything that you just told me.
Brain overload. The first few lessons are really intense because it's all new.
Yeah.
It takes about 5 or 6 lessons just to get comfortable.
And the language, I don't often use any of those words every day.
I'm taxiing down the runway, but I need to get used to steering with my feet, not my hands.
I'm doing too bad here.
Ah, you're doing good.
I'm actually steering this right now.
Okay, I've got the hang of it. We've made it to the end of the runway. Just a few more safety checks, and it is showtime.
We are ready for takeoff.
I'm ready for this.
You are ready for this.
I know. I'm a lot more excited than nervous, which is not what I expected.
That's good. Okay, I have to make a radio call.
Okay.
Find out the traffic for your departing runway 1 or flying W. Here we go.
Oh,
Take
cool,
us
we're
follow me
going.
in the controls.
All right.
And when we get to about 6, we're going to put a little bit of back pressure on the control.
Oh my.
A little bit of back pressure, the nose comes up, and we're flying. How about that?
Wow. Wow. Oh my. We are off the ground right now.
We are off the ground.
We went up 2,000 feet, and up here you can see everything. Down on the ground is a patchwork of color that is South Jersey. And then off in the distance, I could see the Philadelphia skyline. Every now and then, I had to focus on steering with my feet. That was difficult. But flying a plane is awesome.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful up here.
Gorgeous.
And a mixture between like a boat, because it's a little rocky.
Yeah, it's like a boat on water.
Yeah.
Air is a fluid, just like water. So just keep your wings level. If it starts to roll to the right, just come back a little bit, nice and easy.
Oh, we are actually controlling this right now.
You are. I'm going to help us come down to level flight now.
All right.
Now take your hands off the controls. What you see is airplanes. Just take your hands off. Airplanes are balanced. So all you're really doing is just taking a little bit of the bumps out. It'll fly itself.
Look, Mom, no hands.
Look, Mom, no hands. Exactly.
I'm like actually gripping this so hard. My hands are being
You are.
sore later.
When you learn to fly, you want to fly with just 2 fingers.
Yeah, I'm
Nice
not doing
and light.
that.
And you can feel what the plane wants to do. Go ahead and roll it left.
Oh, wow.
And now you're in a turn.
Oh, we are turning.
You are turning. You are banking the airplane, you are turning.
Oh, that really tilts.
Just bring the yoke back about 1/4 of an inch. And now you're gonna climb.
Oh, I felt that.
Now you're climbing.
Stomach sunk a little bit on
Now
that.
just ease it back down to level flight, a little bit at a time, nice and slow. You are flying an airplane.
I'm flying an
Is
airplane.
that awesome or what?
I have never been able to say that before.
So when you come up here, you can really be proud of yourself when you fly well and you execute a good flight. You really feel good about it. There's very few other things that you can actually be totally dependent on yourself.
Yeah. Is it harder to land or to take off?
Landing is the hardest.
Landing
that
is
takes
the
the most
hardest.
precision.
Oh, and guess what? It's time for me to land this plane.
Lost on where the runway is. That's not a good sign.
It's right ahead of
Oh,
you.
I see it. I see it.
Now we're heading right down to it.
It's a little scarier as you're going closer to the ground.
Yes.
Landing was a little bumpy, and I was a little more nervous than I had been so far, but I got us back on the ground.
And we are landed.
We landed! I needed to feel those wheels hit. That was successful.
A successful flight. Ignition off and power off. Nice job, pilot.
Yay!
Great job.
My time as a pilot has ended, but what a great time it was. I flew a plane. And don't forget, you can too, right here in South Jersey.
From small town shopping to large scale retailers, Camden County businesses offer everything you're looking for. By shopping in Camden County, you're promoting local job growth, plus you're saving time, money, and our environment. So take the pledge to support our community. Shop local, shop Camden County. For more information, visit shopcamdencounty.com.